Emotional safety is one of the most powerful yet overlooked foundations of attraction. When a man feels emotionally safe with a woman, something shifts inside him. He stops performing, he stops filtering every word, he stops calculating how he is being judged. Instead, he relaxes. And when he relaxes, he becomes more open, more expressive, and more connected. Emotional safety does not mean he never feels challenged or inspired to grow. It means he does not feel attacked for being imperfect. Many women unintentionally create pressure by criticizing small flaws, testing reactions, or bringing up past mistakes during vulnerable moments. What melts a man's heart is the opposite. It is the calm presence that says, without words, "You are allowed to be human here." When he shares something uncertain about his work, his family, or his fears, and you respond with patience rather than correction, you build trust. Trust is not built through intensity. It is built through consistency. Emotional safety is created when your tone stays steady during disagreements, when you listen without immediately defending your position, and when you respect his perspective even if you do not fully agree. This does not mean suppressing your voice. It means expressing it with clarity and composure. A man who feels emotionally safe will naturally invest more. He will communicate more honestly because he knows he will not be punished for vulnerability. He will seek your opinion because he values your calm strength. Most women focus on how to increase attraction through excitement, mystery, or challenge. But what truly sustains attraction over time is the feeling that being with you feels like coming home after a long day. Emotional safety turns small moments into meaningful connection. It makes laughter deeper and conversations more real. When he knows that your presence is a place of understanding rather than judgment, he associates you with peace. And peace is rare. In a world that constantly demands performance from men, the woman who offers emotional steadiness stands out immediately. She does not compete loudly, she connects quietly. And that quiet confidence is what creates lasting emotional attachment. Appreciation is more powerful than praise because it speaks directly to a man's identity rather than just his performance. Praise often sounds general and momentary. It focuses on outcomes. Appreciation, on the other hand, is specific and intentional. It recognizes effort, character, and intention. When you appreciate a man, you are not simply saying he did something well. You are telling him that who he is and how he shows up matters to you. That distinction changes everything. Many women assume that men do not need verbal affirmation. Yet men rarely hear genuine acknowledgement for their consistency, responsibility, or quiet efforts. When you say, "I respect how committed you are to your goals," or "I notice the way you handled that situation with patience," you affirm qualities that he values in himself. This creates emotional reinforcement. He feels seen, he feels understood, and when someone feels understood, they feel connected. The power of appreciation lies in its sincerity. It cannot be exaggerated or forced. It must be grounded in observation. That is why small details matter. Noticing the way he listens carefully, the way he protects the people he cares about, or the way he remains calm under pressure sends a message that you are paying attention. Most women wait for grand romantic gestures before expressing admiration. But it is the consistent acknowledgement of everyday character that builds deep attachment. Appreciation does not inflate his ego. It strengthens his sense of purpose within the relationship. He begins to associate being with you with feeling capable and valued. This naturally increases his desire to invest more emotionally. When appreciation becomes a habit rather than a rare compliment, it transforms the tone of the connection. Instead of feeling evaluated, he feels encouraged. Instead of feeling tested, he feels trusted. And when a man feels trusted and respected, he becomes more loyal and more open. Appreciation creates a positive emotional loop. The more he feels valued, the more he wants to act in ways that honor that value. It is quiet, steady reinforcement that deepens connection over time. That is why appreciation, when expressed authentically and consistently, carries far more impact than praise ever could. Softness is strength, not weakness. Many people misunderstand softness as passivity or lack of confidence, but true softness comes from emotional control and self-awareness. It is the ability to respond with calm intention instead of reacting with sharp defensiveness. When a woman carries herself with gentle composure, she communicates security within herself. That security is deeply attractive because it lowers tension in the interaction. A man who feels constant resistance or harsh energy will instinctively stay guarded, but when he encounters steadiness and warmth, he relaxes. Softness does not mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means delivering your truth with grace. It means your tone remains respectful even when you disagree. This kind of strength is subtle yet powerful because it demonstrates that you do not need aggression to hold your ground. You can stand firm while still being kind. Softness also shows in body language and presence. A calm voice, attentive listening, and measured responses create an atmosphere of emotional balance. Men often face competition and pressure in many areas of life. When they are around someone who does not add to that pressure, they associate her with peace. Peace is not boring, it is stabilizing. A soft response in a tense moment can shift the entire direction of a conversation. Instead of escalating conflict, it invites cooperation. Most women think intensity will command respect, but controlled gentleness often commands deeper admiration. It signals maturity. It signals confidence. It shows that you trust yourself enough not to prove your power loudly. Softness allows space for connection because it removes the fear of emotional attack. When he knows he can express himself without being met with immediate criticism or sarcasm, he opens up more freely. Over time, this builds emotional closeness. Softness is not about shrinking yourself, it is about choosing emotional intelligence over impulse. It is about understanding that strength does not always have to be displayed through force. When your energy is balanced and composed, you naturally create an environment where affection grows. That quiet, steady presence is what often melts a man's heart, because it feels rare and genuine in a world that often rewards harshness. Eye contact creates intimacy without words because it communicates presence in its purest form. In conversations, most people listen while preparing their next response. They glance at their phones, look around the room, or mentally drift elsewhere. But when you hold steady, relaxed eye contact with a man while he is speaking, you send a powerful message: I am here with you. That level of presence feels rare. It makes him feel important in that moment. Eye contact is not about staring intensely or trying to impress. It is about warmth. It is about allowing your expression to reflect genuine interest. When your eyes soften slightly as he shares something meaningful, you create an emotional bridge that words alone cannot build. He begins to feel understood without having to explain every detail. This silent connection becomes even stronger when paired with a natural smile. A small, sincere smile during conversation signals approval and comfort. It tells him he is safe to continue. Many men are cautious about revealing too much too soon because they fear judgment. But when your face reflects encouragement rather than evaluation, his guard lowers. Eye contact also builds attraction because it shows confidence. Looking away too quickly or avoiding his gaze can unintentionally signal insecurity. Holding it calmly for a few seconds longer communicates assurance in yourself and interest in him. Most women underestimate how transformative this simple gesture can be. In a crowded room, one moment of genuine eye contact can create a private connection. During a serious discussion, steady eye contact can de-escalate tension because it demonstrates attentiveness and respect. It shows that you are not dismissing his feelings or rushing past them. Over time, these small moments accumulate. He begins to associate being around you with feeling seen and valued. Intimacy is not always built through dramatic conversations. Often it grows in quiet exchanges where nothing extraordinary is said, yet everything meaningful is felt. Eye contact, when intentional and warm, becomes a silent reassurance that strengthens emotional closeness without the need for elaborate gestures. Encouragement deepens loyalty because it strengthens a man during moments when he quietly questions himself. Every man, no matter how confident he appears, carries private doubts. He wonders if he is moving fast enough, achieving enough, or becoming enough. The world often measures him by results. Because of that, he rarely speaks about uncertainty openly. When a woman responds to his ambition or struggle with calm belief instead of pressure, something powerful happens. Encouragement is not about exaggerating his abilities or ignoring reality. It is about expressing trust in his capacity to grow. When you say, "I know you are capable of handling this," or "I admire how persistent you are," you reinforce the traits he wants to embody. That reinforcement builds emotional safety and motivation at the same time. He feels supported rather than judged. That difference shapes how deeply he connects. Encouragement also means resisting the urge to criticize during vulnerable moments. Timing matters. If he shares a concern about work or a setback, the instinct to immediately analyze or correct can unintentionally feel like doubt. Instead, steady reassurance communicates partnership. You become someone who stands beside him, not someone who measures him. This does not mean you avoid honest conversations about improvement. It means you choose moments wisely and deliver feedback with respect. When he experiences you as a source of strength, loyalty forms naturally. He associates being with you with clarity and confidence. Most women underestimate how long words of belief can stay in a man's mind. A single sentence spoken during a difficult period can echo for years. Encouragement fuels effort because it affirms that his struggle is seen and valued. It builds a sense of unity. He begins to think in terms of we rather than me. That shift deepens commitment. When he feels that you genuinely want him to succeed and trust his journey, he invests more emotionally. Encouragement is not dramatic. It is steady. It is expressed through tone, patience, and thoughtful words. And when it is consistent, it becomes one of the strongest forces in building lasting attachment and mutual respect. Listening is more magnetic than speaking because it fulfills a need most people rarely have met. Many conversations today are exchanges of information, not experiences of understanding. When a man speaks and feels that the other person is simply waiting for her turn to respond, he stays at the surface. But when he senses that you are truly absorbing his words, something changes. Real listening means maintaining attention without interrupting, without rushing to fix, and without redirecting the focus back to yourself. It is giving him space to complete his thoughts, even if they come out imperfectly. That patience communicates respect. Respect builds attraction far more deeply than constant self-expression. When he feels heard, he feels valued. And when he feels valued, he becomes more open and emotionally invested. Active listening also shows in subtle ways. A slight nod, a thoughtful pause before replying, or a follow-up question that proves you were paying attention all reinforce connection. These small signals tell him that what he shared mattered. Most women assume they must impress a man with stories, humor, or charm. While personality is important, emotional impact often comes from understanding rather than performance. When he talks about his ambitions, fears, or daily frustrations, and you respond with curiosity instead of judgment, he associates you with relief. Relief is powerful. It creates a sense of comfort that stands out in a noisy world. Listening does not mean silence without engagement. It means responding intentionally, reflecting back something he said, such as, "That sounds like it was really challenging for you," shows empathy. Over time, this builds emotional depth. He begins to trust you with more meaningful thoughts because you have demonstrated that you handle them with care. Most people remember how someone made them feel, not the exact words spoken. When your presence makes him feel understood, he feels closer to you. Listening, when genuine and consistent, becomes one of the strongest forms of attraction because it transforms ordinary conversations into moments of true connection. Vulnerability invites protection and care because it signals trust. When a woman allows herself to be seen without perfection, she creates space for real connection. Vulnerability is not oversharing every fear or turning every conversation into emotional intensity. It is the quiet willingness to admit uncertainty, to express feelings honestly, and to reveal parts of yourself that are not polished. Many women believe they must always appear strong and unaffected to maintain attraction, but constant emotional armor creates distance. When you occasionally say, "I felt nervous about that," or "I'm still figuring this out," you communicate authenticity. That authenticity feels grounding. It tells him he does not need to perform either. Instead of two people trying to impress each other, you begin building something real. Healthy vulnerability also shows in how you express needs. Rather than masking disappointment with silence or sarcasm, calmly stating how something made you feel demonstrates emotional maturity. It says you trust him enough to handle your truth. When a man senses that you trust him with your emotions, it often awakens a natural desire to protect and support. Protection here is not about control. It is about care. It is about wanting to show up responsibly because your openness matters. Most women underestimate how powerful it is to say, "That meant a lot to me," or "I felt hurt by that." These statements create clarity instead of confusion. They remove guesswork and replace it with emotional honesty. Vulnerability also deepens intimacy because it breaks the illusion of perfection. No one connects deeply with an image. They connect with a person. When you allow small glimpses of your genuine thoughts and feelings, you invite him to step closer. He begins to see you as someone real, not distant. Over time, that openness strengthens trust. Trust builds attachment, and attachment built on authenticity lasts longer than attraction built on surface impressions. Vulnerability, when balanced with self-respect, becomes a quiet strength that softens the dynamic and encourages mutual care and understanding. Consistency turns small gestures into lasting impact because it transforms intention into trust. Anyone can be warm for a day. Anyone can offer a compliment in a good mood. But when your kindness, appreciation, and emotional steadiness appear regularly, they begin to shape how he experiences you. Consistency creates predictability, and predictability builds security. A man who knows that your calm tone will not suddenly shift into harsh criticism feels safer expressing himself. A man who regularly receives sincere acknowledgement begins to associate you with encouragement rather than uncertainty. Most women focus on singular, powerful moments, believing one deep conversation or one meaningful gesture will secure connection. While those moments matter, it is repetition that creates emotional permanence. When small gestures are repeated over time, they stop feeling accidental and start feeling intentional. Consistency also strengthens credibility. If you say you value honesty but react strongly when he tells the truth, inconsistency creates doubt. If you express support but withdraw it during minor disagreements, he feels instability. Emotional steadiness does not mean you never have bad days. It means your core behavior remains respectful and grounded, even during tension. This reliability allows affection to grow without fear. Over time, he begins to relax fully because he trusts your character. Trust is not built in dramatic declarations, it is built in daily interactions. A steady smile when he walks into the room, a calm response during misunderstanding, a regular expression of appreciation. These patterns quietly shape his emotional experience. Most people underestimate how powerful stable energy can be. In a world where moods shift quickly and attention is divided, consistency feels rare. It signals maturity and self-control. When your actions align with your words repeatedly, he sees integrity. Integrity deepens admiration, and admiration fuels lasting attraction. Small gestures, when consistent, accumulate into emotional security. That security becomes the foundation for deeper commitment because it assures him that what he feels today will not disappear tomorrow without reason. Consistency is the quiet force that transforms temporary emotion into enduring connection. Playfulness keeps emotional connection alive because it reminds both people that the relationship is not only about responsibility and seriousness. Life brings pressure, deadlines, expectations, and challenges. If every interaction becomes heavy or analytical, attraction slowly fades into routine. Playfulness reintroduces lightness. It can be expressed through gentle teasing, shared jokes, spontaneous laughter, or creative conversations that break predictable patterns. When you allow yourself to be playful, you signal comfort and confidence. You are not trying to control the moment, you are enjoying it. That energy is refreshing. A man who feels that he can laugh freely around you begins to associate you with relief and joy. Joy builds attachment in a way that intensity alone cannot sustain. Playfulness also softens difficult moments. During minor disagreements or misunderstandings, a warm tone or a light remark can prevent escalation. This does not mean avoiding serious discussions. It means understanding that not every situation requires tension. A balanced dynamic includes depth and lightness. Many women unintentionally create pressure by constantly evaluating the relationship or seeking reassurance through serious conversations. While clarity is important, constant intensity can feel overwhelming. Playfulness creates breathing room. It shows emotional flexibility. It demonstrates that you are secure enough to enjoy the present moment without constantly questioning the future. Small gestures, like a humorous comment, a spontaneous plan, or a playful challenge, create shared memories. Shared memories strengthen bonds. Over time, these light moments become emotional anchors. When he thinks about being with you, he does not only remember serious talks, he remembers laughter, he remembers ease. That ease makes him want to return. Attraction grows in environments where people feel both understood and uplifted. Playfulness supports that balance. It communicates warmth without pressure and affection without demand. When expressed naturally and respectfully, it becomes a powerful way to maintain connection. It reminds both of you that beneath responsibilities and goals, there is still room for joy. And joy, when consistent, deepens emotional attachment in a way that feels effortless and genuine. Body language communicates more than words because humans respond instinctively to physical cues long before they process language. A gentle touch, a relaxed posture, or a subtle lean towards someone conveys openness and interest in ways that words alone cannot. Men are particularly attuned to these non-verbal signals because they often signal safety, acceptance, and connection. When a woman's gestures are calm, confident, and intentionally warm, she creates an environment where he feels comfortable expressing himself. Most women focus on verbal communication, assuming words carry the full weight of attraction. While words matter, the unspoken language of presence often leaves a deeper imprint. Simple gestures like placing a hand on his arm during conversation, maintaining natural eye contact, or leaning slightly closer while listening all reinforce that you are engaged and present. These physical cues communicate reassurance, attention, and emotional alignment, which are foundational to building connection. Body language also conveys consistency and authenticity. A smile that reaches the eyes, rather than being forced, signals genuine warmth. A steady posture communicates confidence without arrogance. Subtle mirroring, matching his pace, tone, or gestures lightly, can build subconscious rapport because it creates a sense of harmony. Men pick up on these signals even when they are not consciously aware of them. Conversely, tense or closed-off body language, crossed arms, or lack of eye engagement can unintentionally create distance, even if your words are positive. That is why intentional awareness of body language matters. It is not about performing or manipulating. It is about aligning your external presence with your internal authenticity. Over time, consistent alignment between what you feel and what you express physically strengthens trust. When he senses congruence between your words, energy, and gestures, he feels safe and respected. Physical presence becomes a silent reinforcement of emotional connection. Most women underestimate how much a calm, grounded, and attentive physical demeanor can influence attraction. It communicates stability, interest, and care without the need for explanation. When combined with listening, encouragement, and vulnerability, body language transforms everyday interactions into moments of subtle but powerful connection. It becomes a channel through which emotional closeness deepens naturally, creating a lasting sense of warmth and attachment that feels effortless yet profoundly impactful.